Hector here, Hardstyle Live. Today we've got a special guest with us, my good friend Nicole Davis. So Nicole is a busy mom. She's been coaching for over 6 years. She's got a background in CrossFit. She's a kettlebell expert and teaches busy individuals how to improve their health, how to lose weight, how to feel better about themselves. She's, like I said, she's a busy mom, so she's been married for almost 20 years now. She's got 3 boys that I'm sure keep her really busy. So she's going to share with you how she does it all, how she stays fit, how she maintains her health while being that busy parent. So Nicole, thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us for 30 minutes. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did all this start? Obviously, you didn't wake up one day and, you achieved Iron Maiden and became this awesome kettlebell instructor and CrossFit coach. Like, how did all this start?
Wow. This started many years ago. I actually was a ballerina in the beginning. That's how I got into, I guess you would call that a form of fitness. I started dancing when I was about 4 and danced until I was about 14. So I loved that. It taught me discipline. I was a very shy child, very introverted. And I think in some way my mom knew that getting me up on stage would kind of help me with my confidence and kind of come out of my shell a little bit. So I started there. I was in dance company kind of through middle school. And in high school, I wasn't super active. I did, some dance company, a little bit of running. That was about it. It was actually later on, I was kind of a latecomer to all of this. It was after my 3rd child. I had him in 2001, and I was experiencing some postpartum depression. And so my hormones were kind of out of whack all over the place. And my doctor suggested that I do some exercise. So I started with some light yoga, started just walking. Really, that's how I kind of got started. I was about 35 pounds overweight, so I didn't need to lose some weight. I started cleaning up my diet a little bit, and that walking turned into running and kind of got those endorphins going. My hormone levels kind of leveled out. I was on antidepressants there for a little while, but I knew that wasn't something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So after I got into the walking, I started doing running, some races, and training for a few things there. I got injured. I actually got a stress fracture on my femur from running, and I was devastated because that's what I like to do. And so after that, my doctor said no running for a while. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, so I heard that there was a CrossFit gym reopening called Wasatch. It's our big box here that was one of the first ones to open. They were doing a grand opening, so I decided to go up and check it out. And I was hooked. I loved the varied movements. I liked the lifting. I liked how challenging it was, both mentally and physically. I was way down on, beginner level, but I liked the challenge, and I also liked the community. So that was really what kind of reeled me into that. So Wasatch is about, 50 miles away from here, from my home. So I decided, well, I need to find something closer. So 801 was here, Tyson and Miranda Oldroyd's box. That's kind of where I started my training. And during that time, I decided to become a coach. I had started going back to college after my youngest had gotten into 1st, 2nd grade. And originally I had started going into kind of the medical field. And so I decided maybe instead of going that route to go into fitness. So I got CrossFit Level 1 certified back in 2010 and started doing that. And then I started my fitness degree. So I got my Associates of Science. And after leaving 801, I started over at NRG, James Sjostrom's box, and he introduced me to the kettlebell. So I was still really into CrossFit, loved that. I was kind of nursing like an injury, and you know, all this time I'm having to either bring my kids to the box or figure out what they needed to do. So kind of backtracking at 801, they had a kids class, and so I could bring them with me. I know it's hard as a mother to know what to do with your kids sometimes, so that's always nice when there's like a daycare or somewhere that you can put your children while you're working out, because it's so important to take care of you. Anyway, so fast forward again, NRG, introduced to the kettlebell, and fell in love with it. So it's kind of been a part of my life ever since. I've incorporated that into my own training, as well as now into my kettlebell class, or my classes, kettlebell classes, ladies classes, and some cross-training classes as well. But yeah, it's always been a challenge, I think, as a mother to not feel guilty about going to the gym. I think that's one of the hard things for us. So I would just encourage you, if you're a mom out there, to make that time for yourself. Don't feel guilty about it. Even if it's 2-3 days a week, try and do that for yourself. Because not only is it going to make you better, it's going to make you a better mother, it's going to make you a better wife. It's going to just help get those endorphins going so that you can have more clarity and be more productive in your daily life anyways. So yeah, let's see. So then I kind of got into the kettlebell really big in about 2015. Started doing Strong First tactical strength challenges. Really got into those. Lifting especially, I love deadlifting. Pull-ups have always been one of my favorite things. And then eventually I got certified. So last year I was able to get certified, and now I have some kettlebell classes that I teach here at Iron League, along with my ladies class. So I really enjoy that. I even do some personal training, and I have some clients that I will go into their homes. So
awesome. Wow. Well, you're pretty busy.
Yeah.
So it was something that you mentioned, which, you know, my wife dealt with this as well. You mentioned postpartum depression, and that is, I'm sure that is a huge thing that is in our society, and many women, I'm sure, experience it in different ways. Your doctor recommended exercise, and you also mentioned something to the fact of, like, we know that moms will usually put everybody else first before themselves, right? They'll be the ones to eat dinner last. They will be, they won't go to the gym or take care of themselves. Tell us a little bit about, like, how you, I guess, your experience with exercise as an outlet for that. Like, how did that help? Was it something that took time for you to get used to doing, or did you feel guilty?
It did.
Did you feel guilty about exercising and being away from your family? How did that? Tell us about that.
Right. So when my kids were still small, and kind of as I was going through some of these issues, so I not only had just postpartum depression, but I had this really rare disease that my lymph nodes were really swollen, and they thought it was cancer for a little while and had to do a biopsy. And so I lost a lot of weight. I didn't have a lot of energy. And then on top of that, I had some fibromyalgia going on at the same time. So when he suggested exercise, I really had to ease into it. So I actually started just at a community yoga place. It was a neighbor that was just getting her yoga hours, and she had offered it to the neighbor ladies. And so we just met at a church, and I started there. I mean, I was literally starting from the ground up. I would go and I would take my youngest with me, and I would be on the floor doing down dog, and he would be crawling underneath, crawling over top. But I was there, and I made it work, as much as I could at that time. And it was interesting because eventually I became very one of her most dedicated students, and then I even taught her yoga class a couple times for her. So yeah, start small. Start with something once a week, twice a week. You can start at home. I think it's good to have someone that you can be accountable to or accountable with. So if you have a friend or friends that you can do this with, other moms, maybe a neighbor, someone in your neighborhood, a sister, sometimes it makes it a little bit easier if there's someone keeping you accountable as well. So yeah, start somewhere. And then, you know, from the yoga, then I went into the walking, and then from there into the running. But you have to start somewhere. Everyone has to start somewhere.
So I guess tell us, so you took, right, you're 35 pounds overweight at the time after your was it your third child?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And so kind of tell us, like, what caused you to take that action? Like, what was keeping you up at night as a busy mom? You know, you had some health issues that you were dealing with. And we all know, right, that we need to eat right and we need to, you know, get in shape. Like, we all know that. But for some of us, it takes like it's like a thorn in your foot, right? If it doesn't bother you that much, you really won't take action to take it out of your foot. But there's something that was inside you that kept you up. And like, what was that finally made you say, you know what, I am going to go and try this out, whatever, or like what? And then of course you came across the kettlebell, which I'm interested in hearing your story about that. Like, what made you take action on that?
You know, I think I just got tired of being tired. I got tired of being achy and tired, and I felt like the medication wasn't helping, and I knew I didn't want to be on that forever. So I was ready for change. I wanted more energy. I wanted, you know, I knew, like you said, we're told that exercise is good for us, that it'll help us feel better. And so, I mean, being a dancer before, I did believe that. I knew that after I had done a couple hours of dance class that I did feel a lot better about myself. So I took that initiative and I did it on my own. You know, at first it was the yoga with the ladies, but I would go out and walk a half mile and I would just do it by myself. And slowly, you know, the weight started coming off and I started feeling better and I got off the medication. And then I actually started having a love for the fitness. You know, in the beginning it was kind of to help me get out of this hole. And then I started actually like loving it and liking to challenge myself with it, going a little bit further, a little bit faster. And so that's when I started wanting to just do like a 5K, you know, starting to compete in some small way.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about your experience with weight training. So even to this day, there's still this stigma of, well, I don't want to lift weights because I'm going to get bulky like this guy. Or I mean, CrossFit, you come from a CrossFit background, and I mean, CrossFit athletes, whether we agree with their methods or not, are the guys are some of the most jacked dudes that you'll see. Like, they look like they can do a bodybuilding competition, right? And then you see the women that are almost, just as fit as these guys. And then you see women, everyday moms, they're like, I don't want to look like that. If I work out like that, I'm going to look like that. Like, there's still this stigma. Like you said that, I mean, like, what mom wants to deadlift a bar? Tell us about, like, did you have any preconceptions when you started weightlifting?
You know what? I took a lot of years to overcome body image issues. I think a lot of us as women and girls, you know, growing up, that was one of the things that I really struggled with growing up. I always was a little more muscular than the other girls. In dance class, in ballet, you know, you're supposed to look a certain way, and I would train 5 days a week and just bulk up, and it was just from ballet training. And so I would catch flack sometimes that I needed to lose weight. So I kind of had this body weight image or body image problem, and I think it started really young. I remember one of my this woman, she was talking to my mom one day, and she just said, "She will never be thin. She will never be," you know. And I just thought, that what a strange thing to say, but I believed her. And I think that was kind of embedded in my mind. And So it wasn't until later that I started into CrossFit that I started embracing my body type. You know, where before when I was running a lot, I think that's why I got injured. I was not eating enough. I was trying to lose weight. I was trying to be this certain wave image that my body is not. I'm not thin like that. So as soon as I could kind of break through that, you know, that issue, I think that's when I started kind of being more successful in what I was doing. So instead of being, you know, kind of focused on my body and what it looked like, I started focusing on what it could do. I was more performance-based. And that was a huge breakthrough for me. I think that's when I wanted to lift heavier. And it was interesting because I would actually lose weight when I would lift heavier weights, you know? So I think it's, and of course, like, I have muscle, but I'm not super bulky, I guess, you know? So no, it's nothing to be afraid of. It's, weights make you stronger. They increase your metabolism. It's nothing to be afraid of, especially as women. I think it's really important, actually, for overall health, to have some resistance training.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have. We all have our own unique shape, and like I said, you do have great muscle tone, but you still have your feminine look. Like, you don't look like some jacked bodybuilder. I mean, you definitely do. You know, are muscular, but you still maintain. I think that's what scares a lot of women, to think, like, again, they just have this image of, I don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that they're gonna be crazy stuff. So do you know how long it took? So you had this body image thing that you were kind of dealing with, and I know it. Well, I can't relate with that, but I know that, like, as a ballerina, you're supposed to be like teeny tiny, and then for you probably looked jacked to them, right? How long, do you have an idea how long it took you to kind of break through that? Is that something that took you into your adult years, or do you have an idea how long it took?
It did. I mean, it's something I think we still struggle with. You know, I'll even struggle with once in a while. But I would say it was probably around 2013, when I, like I said, started focusing more on performance than on my body. You know, where before it was like I was exercising to get the fat off. I was exercising to look a certain way. I was exercising for this. Now I was exercising for a goal of how much more I could lift, how much faster I could be, how much more powerful I could be. So that was a really powerful mindset change. It was a huge breakthrough for me, but I was well into, you know, my 20s. It's probably 30s, you know, and still, I think, you know, once in a while you think, oh, I'm really bloated today. I don't want to. Nope, I'm going to cover this up, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah. Well, keep doing what, you're doing a fantastic job. Keep doing what you're doing. Like, you've got a great message. So don't get discouraged if you ever do. Just keep going. I know several women really need your help. So keep going. So let's kind of, I guess, change gears a little bit. So now today you're working with moms. You have a women's class. You do personal training. Like, what are some things that you're excited about in the future? Like, what are some, you know, projects that you're working on? Are you working on any projects? Like, what's in the future for Nicole in the next, you know, year or so?
As far as coaching, I love my job. I have the best job in the world. Not only do I get to work with wonderful women, but these women are my friends. I can truly call them friends, and we have a great community here. Right now, we actually just started, we have our own ladies pages dedicated to the class, and that's how we kind of stay in communication and put our posts and whatnot. We just started this What's Your Why challenge. So I'm having each one of the ladies, kind of like I'm sharing here, share their story, and with before and after pictures, and then post it on the ladies page. And then they have the option of sharing that, publicly or, to the gym and outside of the gym. But for our page, they get to share their story. And so I just thought that was really important that we as women know how each one of us got here. And not only that, but remember for ourselves why we do it. So that's been really fun. We just started last week. We had one of my friends, Eva, she posted on there her story. Amazing story. She's lost lots of weight, and now she just kills it every day, in the gym. And it's exciting stuff. It gets you going. It gets you fired up. It gets you motivated. And so that's kind of what's going on right now. I mentioned I'm doing personal training for people inside their homes. I love that. I like working with people one-on-one. I like to customize a program for them. I like to get to know them. I think it's really important as a coach to let them know that you truly care about them and that you're genuine. So that's a big part of how I do my business, I guess. And what else what was your other question?
That's awesome. Future projects. I love that. I'm probably going to steal that. What's your why challenge for our students? It's a great way to, obviously, for personal growth, because it's hard to share things, right, about what we struggle with. But at the same time, you never know who could be struggling with the exact same thing. And it's good to let them know they're not alone, So that's great. That's awesome that you're doing that in your group. Like I said, I'm probably gonna do that too.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let me, I guess, so as we're getting ready to come to a close here, if look back, what would you tell yourself 10 years ago? Or even maybe 10 or 15 years ago, what would you go back and tell yourself, all the stuff that you've learned over your vast, your knowledge of what you know now about health, strength training, dealing with postpartum depression? What would you tell yourself 10 or 15 years ago?
I would just tell myself to keep going, because I believe that a lot of the things I've gone through were for a purpose, and it's made me kind of understand people more. But I would just say keep going. I think one of my strengths is consistency. And so, just continue to do what I'm doing, even on the hard days, even on the days I don't feel like it. Even though I love what I do, it's still a job. And so I would say keep going. Consistency is key, for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. So I guess as we get ready to close out, you're in Salt Lake City, or community of Salt Lake City?
Yeah, we're just outside of Salt Lake in West Jordan. So Iron League is just outside of Salt Lake, but yeah, we're considered in the county.
Okay. So what would be the best way for people to get a hold of you, that if they're interested in maybe either personal coaching for you, maybe coming to their home, or maybe coming and trying out one of your women's classes, what would be the best way for someone to get in contact with you?
They can get in touch with me through social media. I do have a Body Strong page. We also have an Iron League page. I have an Instagram, Body Strong SLC, and even just my personal page on Facebook. It's Nicole Davis. There's like a million Nicole Davises though, so you may just want to hit Body Strong or Iron League.
It's like like John Smith, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you have a website? Are you on Instagram? Do you have a website, anything like that?
I do have a website. It's bodystrongslc.com. And then we're Iron League Fitness here too. So I team up with these guys, and this is my home gym, and this is where I would do my training.
Okay. So awesome. So is there anything else that maybe be on your mind that you would like to share with any pearls of wisdom as we get ready to close out for our busy moms out there that may be struggling?
I would just say to pick yourself up and find somebody to help you. As I look back on all my experiences, it was that, you know, I can pinpoint people, one coach, one friend, but it was just these pivotal points in my life that helped me. You know, I mean, we're kind of a collection of the people that we know and that have mentored us and have been our friends. And I think we just need to be that person for people, but also be that person for yourself. Pick yourself up, find a gym, find a coach, find a friend to maybe start getting fit with, and yeah, just try it. You've got to start, you know, and then it gets easier. It does. So I would just recommend that you do it for yourself.
Awesome. Well, Nicole, thank you so much for hanging out with us for this last, 30 minutes or so. So friends, if you're a busy mom and you've been struggling with either finding time, or if you feel guilty about investing some of that time for yourself, it definitely carries over into not only your health, but happiness. Being happy with yourself is 100% crucial. So if you're a busy mom, you're in the Salt Lake City area, I highly encourage you, reach out to Nicole. I've had the pleasure of working with her on a few occasions. She's a phenomenal coach. You can reach her on social media through her Body Strong page. You can, if you're unsuccessful at finding her at Nicole Davis, you can also go to her website, bodystrongsLC.com as well, to reach out to Nicole. So also, if you've been struggling with finding time to get in a quality workout, you can get one of our ebooks from our website. You just go to hardstylekettlebell.com. On the homepage, I've got a collection of 10 to 15 minute kettlebell workouts that you can do as a busy mom, and definitely will get you on the right path. So Nicole, thanks for taking the time. Thank you for your friendship, and yeah, thanks for hanging out for the last 30 minutes.
Thank you so much, Hector. It's been an honor. I appreciate you doing this with me. I've
Awesome.
really enjoyed it. It went by so fast.
Yeah, it goes by really quick.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're signing out of here. We will see you next Friday for the next Hardstyle Live at 11. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye, Nicole.
Bye.